I created this spreadsheet for budgeting and saving in a Google Sheet. Anyone should be able to view it once you click the link. But you won't be able to customize it for your own finances unless you make a copy. If you don't have a Google account, you won't be able to make a copy. So you'll either have to sign in or create an account. Once you sign in, you should be able to go to File, Make a Copy. Call this whatever you want, like Finance Sheet. Now you should be able to edit it. In this template, I'm assuming that your paycheck is $100 twice a month. But let's say you make $1,000 twice a month. All you need to do is type 1,000, and it will automatically change your balance in column D. Change all of these amounts in column B. Now let's say your total expenses for rent and food are $1,500 a month. So we're going to subtract $1,500 instead of $50. We'll do that at the end of each month. We can also change the description here to rent plus food. So let's say you want a little bit of entertainment expenses. Maybe $200 a month to go out to eat, go to movies, etc. So we'll put minus $200 there. And now you see that your balance is still pretty far from zero. So you have a lot more to save and invest. So let's say you want to budget out some amount for saving and then another amount for investing each month. You can add new rows to this spreadsheet. So I'm going to click anywhere in this row and say Insert Row Above. And I've color-coded the month, so I'm going to recolor code them so that this is still for November. And I'm going to say at the end of the month, I'm going to put some money in investments. And I don't know exactly how much yet. I'm going to figure it out once I insert the rows for the rest of the months. Now the key here is to make sure that your balance always adds what was in column B. So here, you see that the formula is D2 plus B3. So it adds this 500 original balance plus B3, which is your income. And then you have 1,500. But then for the next row, your balance is D3 plus B4. So it adds this negative number, which is essentially subtracting it, and you're left with a balance of 1,300. So make sure that each adds up properly. D4 plus B5, D5 plus B6, D6 plus B7, and you can drag this down so that the pattern continues. And then this one, since we added a row, it doesn't know that yet. It adds D7 plus B9. So we have to change this to D8 plus B9. Now when we get to here, since we added another row, just make sure it's D14 plus B15. So now our balances are all up to date and we can change how much we're going to save and invest. So let's say that you don't save anything. That means you start out with 500, and when you add in all your income and then subtract all your expenses, you're left with 800. So you have an extra 300 to save or invest each month. Now, when you're young, it's probably a better idea to put the majority of your money in safe investments like a mutual fund, because you can afford to take more risk. You don't necessarily need a lot of liquid assets. So let's say you're going to put 100 in savings and 200 in investments. So let's change that for every month. So notice that you start with 500 and every month you always go back to 500. Right now there's a cushion of 500. I like to leave a cushion of $100 to $200 just in case some money is automatically withdrawn from my checking account, or if I need to withdraw cash, then I have some extra money in there. And you can make your cushion whatever you want, but say you only want a $100 cushion, then you can afford to save or invest a little bit more in the first month. So maybe here you'll invest $600 instead, and now your balance will go to $100 at the end of each month. I like to plan, and this is kind of OCD, 8 months ahead at least. So then you can just copy these two sections and paste them as many months ahead as you want, and then just change the dates. You can also change the date if you get your paycheck on a different day or if you pay rent on a certain day. So here I've planned out these expenses until April. Now just make sure that your balance accurately reflects what's in column B. It should automatically continue the pattern. Now the way I continue to use this spreadsheet then, after I've planned ahead, I want this balance in column D to accurately reflect on today's date how much is in my checking account. Well, today's the 23rd, so let's say that on November 1st I had $500 and I just got my $1,000 paycheck on November 15th. And I've used like $150 of my expenses. Then, in my checking account, I should have $1,350. Then I'll just type that in here and push enter. I'll change this to today's date, and then I'll delete these 2 rows. The reason I have to type in this number is because if I just deleted these 2 rows, it'll screw up my balances because these are all based off of this initial 500. So I have to type this in so that the rest are then dependent on this cell. Then I can delete those 2 rows and it won't impact this number. Let's say that I seriously overspend on my $200 budget and I only have $1,150. Then you'll see that my balance becomes negative. And then I won't be able to save or invest as much. I might need to make this minus 400 so that I still have a little bit of cushion. But then I know that I overspent and that now I'm not able to invest as much. So it's good to keep track in your head or in this sheet on how much you spend and regularly check your credit statements and make sure that you're sticking to this financial plan that you decided on.